Hello. So what are you looking at? For those of you who are not in the know, you may be looking at just a Windows keyboard, right? Well,
It's 9 o'clock p.m. It's 9 o'clock p.m.
yes. What you're looking at here is actually a Pocket PC device. How many of you remember devices like the HP iPac? I didn't think so. What I meant by that was that you may have remembered them, but compared to what's out on the market today, it's a dinosaur. They're dinosaurs. At the time, this thing was state of the art. But what exactly is this? What it is in layman's terms is a pocket PC, an HP iPac, with speech output, because you notice there's no screen. It had speech output, and it had, obviously, this QWERTY keyboard here. You could also get a Braille keyboard. The device was known as the PAC-Mate. Now I say was because, yes, it's still available today, but if Gallagher123123 or anybody else in my community who are blind have anything to say about it, this thing is about as useful as a paperclip inside of Swiss cheese. Anyway, what did this come with? 2 compact flash slots, an infrared port, 128 megabytes of onboard storage. Ooh. The big thing was that it came with Windows Mobile. Most recently, Windows Mobile 6. Windows Mobile 6 is extinct, at least in the mainstream market it is. There are some specialty vertical markets. I believe the medical field might be one of them, where Microsoft is still supporting the older operating system because in those cases, excuse me, for the moment anyway, the specialized devices like rugged devices that still run these specialized operating systems, that still run the older software, fit in better with their work environment. But that's the only real reason. Otherwise, you can forget about Windows Mobile. Now, it may be for that reason that this device still lives on, but the main reason that this was such a big deal back in its prime was because it allowed for the convergence of the mainstream market and the blindness-specific market. In other words, the device ran Windows Mobile. It is a Windows Mobile device. You hook this up to an external monitor or a PC using Microsoft ActiveSync, and you'd be none the wiser. If you, as a sighted person, were to sit down and learn how to navigate with speech, say, let's say you have an HP iPac in one hand and you're navigating this device with the other, you would be hard-pressed to find any differences. Really, the only thing they've done with the software is provide the necessary user interface elements to interact with the keyboard, the necessary screen reading elements to give it the speech output, because really what this is this runs the JAWS for Windows screen reader on it. So really it is a Pocket PC device. It is a mainstream Pocket PC device. The device has been actually around for over 10 years, its present incarnation for over 6. So what should you do? What about the idea of having mainstream access with specialist technology and the needs of a blind person taken into account? You could certainly go with something like this. Right now it's the cheapest note-taker on the market. But I suggest that you take a very close look at its longevity. This is a very similar device in concept. It provides you with access to the mainstream Android operating environment. Now, right now, this device is running Gingerbread, but I had an email exchange between myself and one of the manufacturer's representatives, and this device is going to be upgraded to Jelly Bean. They are running Jelly Bean. This particular representative is running Jelly Bean on their own personal device for testing. Now, this is a completely off-the-shelf Android device. But how does it compare to the PackMate? Well, it actually compares rather favorably, to be honest. The Braille Plus 18 has the following. Wi-Fi. The PackMate does not have Wi-Fi. Bluetooth. The PackMate does not have Bluetooth. There's a reason for this. There were 2 compact flash slots on board, located up here at the top of the unit. The idea being that the device would have hot, swappable peripherals. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Ethernet modem, scanning gun for identifying barcodes. The trouble is the mainstream market overshadowed this particular device by building Wi-Fi into everything. Even the assistive technology market started building Wi-Fi into everything. The PackMate's the only note taker left on the market without built-in Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS. Again, no GPS on board the PackMate. You have to plug it in as a separate accessory. And no, they do not provide the compact flash cards anymore unless you're willing to look on Amazon or some other third-party outlet. But you can't just go down to your local Best Buy and buy one. Not that I know of, anyway. It's just not there. That's dead. 32 gigabytes of onboard storage versus 128 megs. The device also has a camera. Why would you want a camera on a device that's specifically designed for the blind? 3 letters. OCR. Optical Character Recognition. And it's like this. For those of you who are familiar with opening your scanning bed, sticking a sheet of paper, on the scanning bed, scanning it into your computer, or you may have done this with photos. Doing that with literature is pretty much what this camera does. It basically scans the image that it's taken and converts the material to speech and Braille. So that's really, really nice. For somebody like me with low vision, it means that I no longer have to worry about carrying around a bulky magnifier and having to have the print up to my nose for restaurant menus. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, for those of you who know me, I have a Galaxy Note 2. Some of you may be thinking, well, why not just get something that's off the shelf? The trouble with off-the-shelf technology in the eyes of somebody who's blind, when compared to a more dedicated device like the magnifier that I have, the problem is scanning rate. On the iPhone in particular, I had issues with both scanning rate. It took a while to catch up. Like I'd move and it'd take a second or two to catch up. That decreases efficiency, number one. Number two, I had focus issues. I had very serious focusing problems. I do have mild cerebral palsy, so having to hold something completely still is just not in the cards for me. So OCR can help. It's not a be-all, end-all solution, but it can certainly help by converting the material to Braille, and I can go through the restaurant menu in Braille and not have to worry so much about putting my nose to the, to the menu or having to carry around my magnifier. Now, I love my magnifier, but it's just very bulky, and having to carry it around, a lot of times I forget to bring it. So yeah, optical character recognition, GPS. The device has onboard GPS. It's a Google device, so my guess is that it uses Google Maps. I'm sure it will once it gets Jelly Bean on board. to the extent that the mainstream devices do now, I guarantee you, when this thing gets Jelly Bean, it's going to be a whole different animal. But in comparison to the PackMate, you can already see how this thing is running circles around it. Much more flash storage, built-in wireless, that's 802.11n, built-in GPS, built-in OCR. Did I mention this thing is a cell phone? It is. The device is a full GSM cell phone, and they're working on a Verizon version for release later this year. So, if you want, the way I look at the Braille Plus 18 is, it takes over where the PackMate left off. It is a mainstream Android device. However, it's been packed into a specialty platform with some specialist software over the top. This does have a built-in talking book player reader, which I am very, very happy about, because there's a particular piece of software for the Android platform called Go Read. The trouble is, if you've used a Daisy player, any other Daisy player, I can tell you the navigation's nowhere near as smooth than it is on, say, my Bookport. So they've also built in the Look application, that's the OCR application. They've built in a word processor. Now, most Android phones nowadays come with a word processor, but nothing that can read Braille formatted files. This can. But you can go to the Google, once this thing gets Jelly Bean, right now you can't go to the Google Play Store because of the way they've had to cripple down Gingerbread. I don't know what the story is with that. But I did speak to the representative. He said very clearly that yes, they are going to be running Jelly Bean. Yes, they are going to support the Google Play Store. And yes, they're even going to have a Braille terminal mode. Braille terminal mode would allow me to hook the Braille Plus 18 up to my Mac and continue using the Mac without having to worry about the speech mispronouncing anything. You can go back to my prior videos for my little rant on how speech isn't enough and how Braille's a necessity. But no, I think that if you want a mainstream device with specialist technology built into it, the Braille Plus is certainly a good investment. I mean, here's what you're getting for $3,500. Now, a lot of people in the mainstream market may be about ready to spit their milk at the computer screen. But $3,500 is actually not too bad for what you're getting here, which is you're getting a Braille display, an 18-cell Braille display, which is the bulk of the cost of this unit. You're getting speech output. You're getting a 32 gigabyte Android tablet. This is a mainstream Android tablet, just in special packaging. You're getting very specific software for the blind. You're getting optical character recognition. You're getting a talking GPS. You're getting a talking book player. And again, you're having that all with the ability to run off-the-shelf Android apps. You know, I just think that this is definitely... Now, I've got Android experience, so I should have no problem picking this up. But the manual is very... The manual is very descriptive. I've been through it. It's very easy to follow. I mean, this little device, it's amazing. But no, compared to the PackMate, compared to this, I mean, I swear, I don't see why anybody would pick up a PackMate now. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.